perfect. Be like, yeah, kids, we're gonna look at stars and just like abandon them out there.
Absolutely.
Just say you got like attacked by the cartel and you had to like save yourself. And get help. Yeah.
Kind of like El Salvador. I'm actually kind of like.
I'm sure there's been a few, like not a lot, but.
Oh, okay. January 9th. Two murder victims found. April 5th. I'm just curious because did you see El Salvador registered?
No, I didn't see that. That's impressive.
Maybe let's do this in the pre-show.
Okay, word. Yeah, I'm about to get us booted up here. There we go. Alright, we are now live on pre-show. So, El Salvador registered 0 murders.
For 365 days. Yeah.
It's impressive.
Let me see if I can't find the tweet. They used to be the murder capital of the earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their Fitch Ratings upgraded El Salvador's credit rating by 3 positions just today.
Good for them. I think.
On May 4th, El Salvador's president just officially signed a law eliminating all taxes on income, property, and capital gains.
Okay. All right.
El Salvador is becoming the Liechtenstein of America.
All right. I need to brush up on my Spanish, I guess. Jesus Christ.
It's the safest country in Latin America now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry, I should specify. I didn't read correctly. The government of El Salvador signed a law eliminating all taxes on income, property, and capital gains related to technological innovation. So regular income is, and I guess capital gains and property taxes still apply. But if you are innovating, I guess it's a freebie.
I was just looking up El Salvador gun laws. Looks pretty.
They're pretty horrible.
Yeah. I need to work on that.
That's what I understood is that, like, yeah, basically it's almost impossible to get a gun. But
yeah, well, El Salvador, listen, if you happen to be watching this, any of you, the president perhaps, or maybe just some of you, work on that, because the no taxes thing is a good start.
Yeah, I think the idea is you just need like one generation of letting all of the criminals rot in jail and like hyper policing in a quasi-fascist fashion, and then maybe on the other side, that's when you get your ANCAP paradise, and maybe it only takes a year. I don't know. I'm really wondering what they're gonna do with all these dudes they got locked up, though, because it's like you're gonna keep them in jail forever.
I mean, you could give them treadmills that are hooked up to Bitcoin mining machines and just like
honestly. Now we're thinking modern solutions to modern problems.
All right, I'm going to start the intro. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 112 of The Altar. Tonight, it is Max, a.k.a. Ancaparado, and myself, Ben, a.k.a. Rocky Mountain Juhadeen. And we've been discussing how El Salvador is almost a decent country, if there is ever such a thing.
Actually, I had a friend visit El Salvador recently, and they spent like a month there. And their goal was to only use Bitcoin for transactions.
And how'd they do?
It worked like 75% of the time.
Hmm.
Like just like little abueletas with like, empanadas or whatever on the side of the road. They just have like a, you know, Coinbase wallet app, and you just trade Bitcoin in the middle
Hell
of the
yeah.
street. Get some empanadas. It's dope. From what I understand. Now they have like volcanoes and jungle and beaches. I could be
Word.
convinced. I could be
Yeah.
convinced.
Hmm. But the gun laws got to change.
Yeah. We need some.
Hmm.
mach- I, I mean, honestly, if there's zero homicide for like a year, what's the population of El Salvador?
Let's look that up real quick. Jamie, look that up.
Jamie, yeah, 6.5 million.
Ooh, the 6 million, huh?
Yeah.
That's where they went. So yeah, 6.5 million. Nobody among 6.5 million people killed each other. That is something. That is something. I gotta say, if it's real, if
I
it's
mean,
true,
they might have been cooking the numbers.
they might have been.
Possible. It's they might have ruled a few suicide. It's like the Japanese police, right?
True.
Like they have like a lot of incentives to like basically rule everything as suicide if they can't immediately solve the case. Like, oh, this takes investigation. Fuck this.
Yeah.
It's suicide.
He must have shot himself twice in the face. That's.
But like, I could seriously be reasoned into saying, you know what, this is our covenant community. And we have the designated gun range, but we have very competent security. And if it was a private voluntary agreement, if I emigrated there and I would accede to the laws. I mean, you got to realize when things work, right? But at the same time, like Switzerland and Liechtenstein have fantastic gun laws, and nobody gets murdered all the time over there. So
Well, they don't have the CIA or the FBI, so that's one thing they've also got going for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, did you see the whole hubbub on Twitter where Elon Musk was talking about the murder stats in the U.S. actually over the last week?
Maybe I might have. Seems familiar. What kind of murder stats was he like talking about? Like the 13% thing, or?
Yeah, community guidelines started posting 13% stats.
Oops.
Because like this journalist was saying, like the same number of white people kill black people as reverse or something like that, or it's like the same rate percentage wise.
The same rate, yeah.
And it's like, and then they did the per capita stats. In the community guidelines.
So I've seen a bunch of memes of like people getting mad at per capita and how white people like invented per capita to make black people seem more violent. And like they just show like a very just basic misunderstanding of how per capita works, like every time.
It's just a percentage. It points. Yeah, that's all it is. And actually, somebody did the math on the most recent year of FBI crime stats, and it's no longer 50% of the murders are committed by 13% of the population. It's actually 60% of the murders.
Oh wow! Okay, so they're getting better at it. That's excellent.
And like I've pointed out before, you can control for a couple other variables, e.g., age and sex, and it's really more like 3%.
Yeah, like 3, like half. Yeah.
It's the 3% that doesn't get arrested.
The other 3%.
January 6th.
That's the Facebook group. The other 3%. It's just a bunch of Glock 19s with full auto switches from Wish.com.
Wish.com. Glock switches.
Fucking 22 caliber fuel filters and.
Oh, dude,
man.
I occasionally browse Facebook, and I know I've been browsing the wrong things because the ads show me fucking like the oil fuel filter.
Yep. Yeah.
Ads, and I'm just like,
nope, not getting me.
Today.
Not today.
So, I'm like, okay, I'm clearing my cache, clearing my.
Yep, clearing everything out.
It's not. But speaking of FBI ATF tracking stuff, I was actually having this thought a minute ago, which was I know we didn't want to talk about the Transformer kids and stuff like that, but I saw on Twitter, or I saw actually it was just a video somewhere, but it seems like every show is ritualistically going through this process where it's like they introduce a new character and they have to do their pronouns and they're non-binary, and Transformers did it.
Oh, really?
Yes. Like the actual kids cartoon show had it happen. And I was thinking about like why this scene has been done in every single like kids media at this point. Like I'm trying to think, like I think there was even like a Paw Patrol episode or something where it happened. I don't know. Actually, SpongeBob probably not, because they're fucking fishes, and it like doesn't make sense.
I'm surprised, actually, given how gay they've made SpongeBob, that he has not had a pronoun thing yet. Like, it's only a matter of time.
Maybe he has. I stopped watching SpongeBob a long time ago.
Oh, same.
It started with Steven Universe, right?
I think so. Yeah, the fucking yeah.
And then it's just like, I think I would really want to see if somebody's got like the patience and or like transcript read, like search algorithm skills where you could like search the transcripts of all these cartoon shows and find the my pronouns are scenes and stitch them together. I would love to see that video and just like post to me is like, you don't need to watch, or your children should not be watching TV made after the year 2005, basically. Maybe later. I don't know.
We would need someone exceptionally autistic to do that. So I don't know who among our viewers has the required level of autism, but feel free to step up.
There should be some like parents, like there should be some like Christian watchdog group, some guy that's like, you know, won't even allow himself to masturbate, and he's watching all these kid cartoons and will stitch together all those scenes, and he's like, I hate the you know, the alphabet people.
It would be some Mormon dude. You would need that level of determination. Like,
yeah, I think it'd be a spite thing.
Oh, anyways, definitely.
I was thinking of ATF FBI Venn diagrams overlaps is the people who like the FBI. You know, the FBI runs like child porn servers.
Mm-hmm.
They literally host it, and they like gather the IPs and stuff of everybody visiting it. And I'm just like, I want to see the Venn diagram of those IP addresses and the people, you know, arguing about book bannings in elementary schools.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm just curious. It's like that teacher in Hawaii. Do you remember this at all? There's a teacher in Hawaii who was like, we're not trying to. I gotta find it now. Teacher, charged with child abuse. Twitter. I'm gonna find this. Yes. Okay. June 17th of 2022. Hawaii teacher has been arrested for sharing child pornography. His Twitter account on in April of that year. You're fucking acting like we want to show kids porn or something.
Oh, geez.
But something I've learned through the years is that whenever right-wingers accuse others of something, it's definitely because they're projecting.
Wasn't that also...
Oahu substitute teacher Alden Benag was charged Wednesday in a criminal complaint filed for federal court distributing child pornography.
I remember there was this one too. Is like this dude tweeting about how like he was making fun of the thing about how pizza is a symbol for like child porn and how it's like some like fringe right wing thing. And then like a couple months later,
he's like Dr. Pizza,
something like that. Yeah. And then like a couple months later, arrested for child porn.
All right.
Spicy.
Well, enough on that very grim subject.
Indeed.
Let's move on to more hopeful and inspiring things like the upcoming presidential election.
Oh, yes, that's what I think. Hopeful and inspiring and uplifting, I think, the upcoming presidential election. So, Trump made his glorious return to the electoral circuit, and so I guess it's officially campaigning season for 2024?
Ben, can you back up off the mic just like 1 inch?
But I like putting my face against the big black thing. It's fun.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, like RFK's like out like seriously campaigning.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I mean, I guess Biden sort of is campaigning as much as like a senile man in a basement can campaign.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, his body doubles. I'm sure they're going to campaign a little bit, but.
Well, like remember in 2020 they got away with saying Biden's doing the safe thing by staying home. He's not having these super spreader rally events. He's just releasing pre-recorded, messages from his
like
basement.
Osama bin Laden.
This is a story that ran in April. Biden has held this from the New York Times. Take it for what it's worth. The Times. Not the Post. Post is reputable to me at this point, but the Times. Anyways, they lied about the Iraq War.
Of course.
In Ukraine. Basically everything. Anyways. This is just a raw stats, though. The Biden has announced his second term bid. This was in past tense, Tuesday of whatever, April 21st. In the 100 years since Calvin Coolidge took office, best president of the 19th century, by the way. Or would it be the 20th century?
What year is he elected?
Coolidge in like 1920?
Oh, that would be 20th century.
Yeah. Okay. So in the 100 years since Calvin Coolidge took office, only Richard Nixon and Ronald Reagan ever held as few press conferences each year as the current occupant of the Oval Office. Traveling in Ireland next week, President Biden abandoned the decades-old tradition of holding a news conference while abroad. On Thursday, President Gustavo Petro of Colombia met with Mr. Biden, but the two did not hold a conference together after the practice of his predecessors that Biden was frequently chosen to skip. After meeting, Mr. Petro took questions from reporters alone at microphones in front of the West Wing of the White House. That's weird.
That is weird.
Okay. So anyways, here are the stats. President granted the fewest, this is President Biden, granted the fewest interviews since Mr. Reagan's presidency. By the way, Ronald Reagan had early onset Alzheimer's in his second term, which was only 54. That's how many Reagan did. Donald Trump gave 202 interviews during the first 2 years of his presidency, and Barack Obama gave 275. 54 for Biden, Trump 202, Obama 275. Already all of his press conferences are like basically scripted. Like they give him the reporter's face, how to pronounce their name. Like there's like the slips, right?
I state your name, Joe Biden.
So it's like how when it's completely scripted, are they not comfortable doing more than like one of these every? I guess 50 times would be once every week.
Just about.
Once a week.
Just about, yeah.
Whereas Obama would do it like more than every other day. Trump would do it every other day. Go in front of the press and just take questions.
Well, I mean,
that was entertaining, right?
That was very entertaining. Speaking of entertaining, did you catch any of the clips from Trump's town hall appearance on CNN?
I had been working, and
Fair
I
enough.
wish I had gotten to sit through the whole thing.
So he
Every
like
clip I see is gold.
he basically hit every major like pressure point, hot button like identity politic word you could use. Like he referred to like the interviewer as like a nasty person, like not a nasty
Yeah,
woman.
I saw it. He's like,
And
"You're
then
just a nasty
he
woman."
said the he
And
said he said
kept
the DC
interrupting him.
yeah, the DC cop that shot Ashley Babbitt, he called him a thug, and I'm pretty sure the cop was black.
Okay.
And then my friend sent me something earlier. Gary, friend of the show, sent me an article about how Trump like was blaming the bump stock ban on the NRA. And it's like, all right, cool. So he's pissing off the right wing and he's pissing off the left wing. So he's just pressing every button he can in order to get attention.
Well, wait. So is he out? Is he against the bump stock ban?
I think he's trying to distance himself from it, but I mean, it's not. No, like.
Well, okay. You got to realize if you're a right winger that the bump stock ban was the predecessor to the pistol brace ban.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because it was about having technology that the ATF had declared to be not the thing that was regulated by Congress, and then all of a sudden the executive branch saying, we think this is what Congress was talking about. And so it suddenly becomes illegal. So yeah, the bump stock ban was what led to the SBR, the pistol brace ban, if you will. Which, by the way, I think we got till May if you want to get amnesty for your pistol brace.
Oh well.
Just throwing that out there for the.
I lost my
crowds.
pistol brace in a terrible desert driving accident, so it's gone. It just bounced out of my truck.
Many such cases.
Yeah.
Oh no! So what else was there? Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. That's some of the major things. Like he still refuses to admit or at least he just still says the 2020 election was illegitimate. So like he's not backing down off of that point.
I mean, honestly, you listen to him read off the stats, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, that does seem weird.
How does that work?
Exactly. How does it work? Like I don't know either way. Like I don't think elections are legitimate in the first place because like the old ANCAP position. But it's heavily scripted. Let's be real.
Yeah, I just you look at the raw numbers, and if you were describing the sitting president of Uganda got 12 million more votes than he did in the last election, but was still overcome by the opposition party, who's backed by leaders in the West for his pro-democracy stances.
Yeah,
you'd be like,
huh.
And
I remember there's an article published in 2016 by the BBC, and it was it had something to do with elections in Africa, and it was how to spot elections that might not be legitimate. And hold on, let me see if I can find this and we'll just read this off because this article is funny to me. BBC.
Oh, did they leave it up?
I think so. Yeah.
They didn't memory hole it or anything like that. Did we share this to the Tumblr or anything like that?
The show?
Yeah, the show.
Yeah, I made a post. Matt reblogged it. Yimra is indisposed. He's currently he's bushwhacking through the jungle in search of a Gressy. Or Grimace, I should say. He'll get the Gressy when he finds Grimace, but he has to find Grimace first, so.
Well, he's hanging out with Donald Trump, so I mean, he's got his service detail. It's not easy.
So, first comment is Jenny in the chat. What's up, Jenny?
Oh, we haven't checked anything. Oh, there we go. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at the viewer count. I was like, man, I feel like we get more normally. I guess
we didn't really see it early enough, and we didn't do last week, so people forgot we existed. It's fine. Everybody's got the goldfish memory. Our lovely followers.
Dude, the life makes so much more sense when you realize most people have been consuming they've never sat through a movie like watching Netflix or whatever, or like a TV show without also having their phone right next to them, like just browsing whatever scroll they want to scroll through. And life just makes so much more sense when you realize like they have given themselves ADHD. Just personal insight.
Many such
Okay,
cases.
I shared it to Tumblr, by the way, because I was just noticing that.
Excellent.
Hopefully we get a couple. And oh, we got 5 watching right now.
Yeah.
Sweet. Welcome. Say hi in the chat if you're here. Okay. We love you.
We love you
We care
all.
about you. So anyways, we were talking about the Trump appearance on CNN Town Hall.
Oh, and of course he threw the drill baby drill line out there because we got to like invoke the ghost of Sarah Palin in every election from now till we either collapse or become an actual empire.
What was well, wait, what do you think's the gestalt of Sarah Palin at this point? Like, is it favorable?
No. I don't know.
Is it like a joke or
it's just like that line, drill baby drill, is like something I think she said, and like she was just like the media endlessly mocked her for it for years. And then like during Trump we had like the highest oil output out of every country in the world, including Saudi Arabia. Like we were the largest net oil exporter, and gas was $2 a gallon.
Well, I mean, saying from I don't remember because I was in high school, so I was young and not totally paying attention to the Sarah Palin moment in 2008. Was it?
It was 2008, yeah.
But like being around oil business type people, like I felt like it was a phrase that existed before that.
Your family?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I feel like it but maybe it only existed then.
Maybe.
It became the popular culture. I'm just wondering if that's the thing. Okay, the catalyst. So drill baby drill. I liked the Ukraine moment because he came across incredibly well talking about Ukraine.
Admittedly, yes. Like it was the good answer. Like just stop the fighting so people stop dying.
Yeah, he had the completely basically the Ron Paul answer, which I would think is like there's no winning in a war. I'm not thinking about winning. I'm thinking about stopping people dying.
There you go.
And it's like how could I mean, I know Trump's not really a Christian. Or I don't believe Trump is really a Christian.
He's a convenient Christian.
Yeah. But Joe Biden says he's a Catholic and I probably every other presidential candidate professes some other faith, some denomination of Christianity or whatever. And it's just like how could you read that from Trump and not be like, oh, yeah,
sure, buddy.
Got a speed on that. No, that's the beauty of Pat Buchanan and Ron Paul. That's what they gave the right wing is like, look, you don't have to be some long-haired hippie like me to not like wars. You can be like, hey, Jesus didn't like killing people. So
yeah, exactly.
HB Nana Holla, thank you for that. In the chat, Fonzie Mustache says he hasn't watched it yet. I haven't watched the whole thing. I've just watched clips.
Same, yeah.
Highlights. I think it's tedious to watch cable television.
It is. Right? It's awful. It's basically poison for your brain. So,
what else were some good moments? So we talked about the rig election, January 6th, and the thug comment. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was great.
He
said he was going to pardon most of, probably, I'm inclined to pardon most of them. It's like, all right.
You could have done it.
You could have.
Yeah,
man, you had time.
you had 2 weeks to be like, give me the list of names. They're going home.
Yeah, they're off.
So, Yeah, and some of those January 6 people, like we think America's a democracy, a free country, and it's like we have political prisoners in jail for 2, 3 years now. And the only crime they did was they walked through a public building
After
when
being let
police were
in by
giving,
Capitol Police.
and on video, the police are guiding them, giving them a tour through the building.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, total democracy things. Total democracy. Yeah. So the Ukraine comment was great. Oh, Pence.
Oh yeah.
I did he. So here I'm reading a quote. His lawyer said, "You cannot move. I call them the human conveyor belt." I said, even if the votes are absolutely fraudulent, he can say yes, or he can send them back. And the Democrats played it, and the Ranos played it, and the election was over, and I told him he couldn't do it. And Mike said to me, "I can't do it. The lawyers told me you can't do it. They can't do it. The lawyers are wrong because right after election, they all met the Rhinos and Democrats, and they worked out a plan to make sure that future vice presidents don't do what I said you could do." It's an interesting
It is interesting.
quote. And so, but yeah, so is that true? Is like, are they trying to amend the Constitution to make it so the vice president doesn't certify the election anymore?
Maybe. Hang on.
Because that's a constitutional process. Maybe it's just a process within Congress itself. I don't know if they changed it
July 20th, 2022. Lawmakers moved to clarify vice president's role in certifying presidential election results. Proposal by a bipartisan group comes after Trump reassured Pence to block the 2020 outcome. A bipartisan group of lawmakers. So, a bipartisan group of lawmakers proposed an update of the Electoral Count Act to make clear that the vice president has no power to block the certification of the presidential election after former President Donald Trump assured Mike Pence to take such steps following the 2020 race.
But it didn't pass, did it?
I don't think so. This is behind a paywall.
So, I mean, it's interesting to me that, like, the presidential system, we already ignore so many of the constitutional parts of it. Like, the vice president is supposed to be the runner-up in the presidential election in the Electoral College. There's not supposed to be a separate vote about vice presidents, unless I'm forgetting that's one of the amendments.
I have no idea, honestly.
This is the the 12th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, is after the Bill of Rights, after ratification, stipulates that each elector must cast distinct votes for president and vice president instead of 2 votes for president. Additionally, electors may not vote for presidential and vice candidates who both reside in the elector's state. At least one of them must be an inhabitant of another state. This is why Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump cannot run on the same ticket, actually. If no candidate for president has a majority of the total votes, the House of Representatives voting by states and with the same quorum requirements as the original procedure chooses the president. The 12th Amendment requires the House to choose from the 3 highest receivers of the electoral votes compared to the 5 under the original procedure. It's the presidency is supposed to be very differently selected. I mean, it's nice that we still have an electoral college in name. I kind of wish we actually had like an electoral college where they were just like one, like back in the day, like they didn't even run for president. They were just like, oh, we really want this really impressive guy, this elite, to be president of the United States. And then they would be, and then they'd be like, well, I'm not campaigning because nobody who should have power would desire power and campaign for the power. Mm-hmm. And then, like, you know, it'd be a bunch of like surrogates and stuff like that, all giving like stump speeches saying like, oh, we want yada yada to be, you know, this general or you know, this senator who, you know, does such a good job. And then the runner up would be the vice president. And so there were like the tie-breaking vote in the Senate would be the running up party. Right? Like right now, Kamala Harris's position should be Donald Trump.
Oh my God.
The tie-breaking vote in the Senate should be Donald Trump with a 50-50 split in the Senate. Also, we shouldn't we need to repeal the 17th Amendment, and we need to go back to state legislatures selecting the senators,
Hmm.
because it's like it's stupid. It's just a like we're just voting districts at this point.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, so, anyways, vice president shit. That was stupid. Um, doesn't really matter. Nobody cares about the vice president. Except, have you seen the absolutely insane ability of Kamala Harris to speak in like a recursive loop? It's like her speeches are written by like an early version of Chat GPT.
I usually just try to avoid listening to her talk as much as possible, so I can't really say I've like taken in any of her speeches at large. I
Yeah,
just can't. I
yeah.
can't deal with it, man. I can't.
Oh, she got appointed to be
The
the
AIs are.
the AIs are
Oh, thank God.
somebody who assuredly can't even like set up a modem. Is going to run our AI as it takes out like a quarter of the economy's jobs for college graduates and stuff like that. It's just totally great. The rape accusation.
Oh, against Trump?
Did you hear about that? Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess they found that the rape accusation, like, there's not enough evidence on that, but he sexually assaulted her by saying publicly that he did not rape her or something.
Well, this goes to the same case of that Marine in New York on the subway.
Oh, yeah. So I guess the
The
DA.
trial. Yeah, they're charging him, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So it goes to the fact that in New York City, probably most of New York State, there's I don't know that the trial is the right word for what happens.
It's
because it implies something that's like supposed to be fair.
Yeah.
And like it's just silly. The things that are happening in these cities. In fact, actually, I was speaking with a friend of a friend, and one of my close friends also went through this situation. Living in like a big city like Denver or one of the Democrat-controlled cities, and New York or North Carolina or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter if you're in a red state like North Carolina. Like, if you're in a Democrat city, the prosecutor will
destroy your life.
They will charge you for shooting somebody who pointed a gun at you in your own place of business or work. But somebody who's drunk driving or hit you while you're in a crosswalk, well, they're a compassionate progressive prosecutor. So it doesn't matter that you were in a crosswalk walking across the street. We just can't prosecute them and bring charges.
No reasonable prosecutor would bring charges against somebody like that.
Nobody. Yeah,
nobody.
Exactly. And this has happened to like one of my close friends. They got hit in a traffic. They were passengers in an Uber, and they got hit by a drunk driver. No conviction or no trial, no nothing, no prosecution, anything like that.
Wow.
Let insurance take care of it. And then my friends, their brother or their stepbrother, I should say. Not that it makes a big difference, but the stepbrother was hit out in a crosswalk, walking across the street. I don't know how exactly it's progressing, but it's like prosecutors like, it's not worth it, or it's like not something we do. We don't have enough to do something for it.
Wow.
Like the DA of New York City will prosecute Donald Trump for like a 25-year-old rape accusation.
Well, it's not even the DA. That's it's like a 25-year-old civil like rape accusation at this point, because like there's not enough standing to go to criminal court.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, like 25-year-old civil claim for for against the president by somebody who's a known political activist.
Exactly.
Um, versus here's the deal, and I shouldn't say this on air, but if I or my partner or one of my close family members was injured or killed, and the state, the county, the city is not going to prosecute and at least have a trial about that, when it's a clear case of just vehicular manslaughter
Hmm.
or something like that. I shouldn't say this, but I would become a domestic terrorist at that point. Okay. It's
Yeah, I
like,
mean that's the moral thing to do at that point, though. Like
well,
the system
yeah,
has failed. You have to. You have to.
if, if the court doesn't care about the death of human beings,
Yeah,
it
exactly. Like
will.
it will. It will learn.
Um,
Whew. All right. I think we're. I think we've graduated to the hundreds place on the list at this point.
but
Oh,
like,
so no. Go ahead.
yeah, just to clarify those comments a little bit, it's like, this is only a hypothetical.
Of course.
It's just saying that if you cannot expect the justice system to provide safety in some hypothetical scenario that doesn't exist in the United States,
Yeah.
then you might have to guarantee your own safety.
Gerard
Um,
Butler in Law Abiding Citizen did nothing wrong. There.
um, Marvin Hairmeyer in Granby, Colorado.
Did nothing wrong.
I didn't say that.
Kyle Rittenhouse did nothing wrong.
Kyle Rittenhouse legally has been found to have done nothing wrong.
George Zimmerman did nothing wrong. No, actually, he being Neighborhood Watch is cringe. Sorry, but that was wrong. But unfortunately, cringe does not trump getting your ass beat. So
Do you not realize Zimmerman was the proto Latino white supremacist?
he was apparently, yeah. So that's
He's probably the godfather of this guy down in Texas.
Mauricio Garcia, known white
Don't say
supremacist.
their
Yeah.
names. Don't say their names.
Oh,
They're just
sorry.
flame whores. But yeah, the Texas shooter.
Yeah.
Had swastika and SS tattoos.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like, could easily like walk onto the set of Apocalyptico and just like be any given extra.
Dude, his haircut, he had like that classic like cholo bowl haircut going on, and it's just like, yeah, that's when I think white supremacy, I think like some dude in socks and sandals from fucking Los Angeles. That's what I think of.
Yeah, it's well, obviously, like people disregard the Nazi thing and just when they mean Nazi, they say white supremacy. But it's like, no, if the guy was a National Socialist, he was a Mexican National Socialist. So he was,
It was La Raza.
La Raza. It's like, oh, wait, you guys are worried about race identity and mass shootings? Look up this organization called La Raza.
Well, I guess that in an effort to combat mass shootings by La Raza is the reason why that federal judge struck down the law prohibiting anybody under the age of 21 from possessing a handgun.
That can't be nationwide. That has to be just
So
a district. Right?
I will look it up real quick, but federal judge, 21-year-old handgun.
Usually TTAC has this pretty has this kind of news.
Federal judge of Virginia invalidated a set of federal restrictions that prohibit people under the age of 21 years old from purchasing a handgun from federally licensed firearm dealers.
Okay.
I'm not seeing anything about if it's only good in that district. Well, I mean, it's getting appealed to the Supreme Court, of course.
That would be interesting because, yeah, the court the Supreme Court has been mum to pick up like the tobacco ban for people under 21, right?
Hmm.
Um, I could easily see them doing this assault weapons case if or handgun case and being like, if we're saying 18-year-olds are adults, then 18-year-olds are adults. They can have tobacco, they can have alcohol, they can have handguns and all that stuff.
I could absolutely see
Um,
that.
but maybe they don't make the case that broad. Um, I honestly am okay if the age of adulthood was 21.
Yeah, like
I would be I don't really care that 18 through 20-year-olds vote, or it's like
they don't really statistically. Like most of them don't.
yeah,
It's like
most but
20% of them vote, maybe.
like yeah, so it's like just well, obviously like it'd make more sense just like if you're going to infantilize 18-year-olds where they can't smoke, they can't drink,
They can't buy
they
a
can't
handgun.
own, they can't buy a handgun. In Texas, they're passing a law. In Texas, they're passing a law. It's passed committee and will go to the General Assembly to ban semi-automatic rifles for people under 21.
Yep.
And so it's like, okay, I can't own certain kinds of guns. I can't vote, or I can't own certain kinds of guns. I can't smoke. I can't drink. I can't rent a car. I can't run for office,
But I
but I
can
can vote.
join. But I can vote and join the military.
I can vote and I can be cannon fodder. Um, I can. So, like, yeah, what's the point of all of it? Who
Yeah.
cares? It just doesn't make sense. Like, I either rescind the right to vote for 18-year-olds or give them full rights because they're actually adults. Like, we just got to make a choice.
It's got to be either or.
New York Attorney General sues Mean Arms for selling a magazine lock that can be removed with a drill. Buffalo grocery store killer who murdered 10 people a year ago bought a New York compliant AR pattern rifle legally in New York, which was after he'd been taken into custody in order to undergo a psych eval because of threats he'd made about carrying out a shooting.
Huh.
This is not like a complete sentence. I was reading it verbatim. The AR he purchased was apparently equipped with a MA lock from Mean Arms when he bought it. The MA lock makes the AR fixed magazine rifle, but the killer drilled out the MA lock, modifying the AR to accept 30-round magazines.
Oh, he drilled it out, so he illegally modified it, like with a power tool. Like, come on.
Apparently, you can sue a company for making equipment that complies with the law because you can use power tools to overcome the equipment.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's not going to go anywhere.
Okay. As a result, New York Attorney General Letitia James filed suit today against Mean Arms in the Supreme Court of New York. James sued Mean Arms for aiding in the illegal possession of an assault weapon in New York, including the weapon used in mass shooting in Buffalo in May 2022. New York law bans possession of assault weapons, high-capacity magazines that hold more than 10 rounds of ammunition. Mean Arms manufactures, sells, and distributes a magazine lock known as the MA lock that is marketed as a device to lock a magazine into a semi-automatic rifle. However, the lock can easily be removed so the detachable magazine, including high-capacity magazines that hold more than 10 rounds of ammunition, can be inserted into the rifle. Man, I hate reading legal briefs because they have the longest fucking run-on sentences.
Yeah, they do. Oh, fuck.
The lawsuit alleges that company deceptively and falsely advertises that installing an MA lock on a weapon makes it legal in New York. It does.
It does. Yeah, like, sorry.
Thereby aiding and abetting the illegal possession of assault weapons in New York. Okay, yeah. So with a power tool, you can modify a piece of metal to function in a way that's different from what can be sold legally. Guess what? Did you see the Orca on PSR?
What's
Repeat. The
no?
Orca is like all 3D, lower and upper AR.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, very, very cool. I don't think we can say all three words together on YouTube or we'll get banned. But you know what I'm saying when I say it was an additive manufacturing process that somebody could do at home.
Hmm.
And it's secured with like hose wire. It's really cool. If people want to look it up, it's very neat. All the only metal parts are on it are the bolt and the barrel.
Wow, interesting.
Yep.
Very cool.
And it lasts for thousands of rounds when you use the right material. They've tested it. At least their print was good. So I got an Amazon gift card for my birthday and I was going to get my own printer, but
Mhm.
then I had a couple other things I wanted to get. So whatever.
Fair enough.
I'll do it in a bit. Anyways, so wait, we were talking gun shit for a minute.
Mhm.
Did we we talked about the nasty person quote with Trump. We got sidetracked with bump stocks and stuff.
Mhm.
CNN, Jake's Tapper and AOC were livid about the thing. They
Yep.
were upset that a convicted what is it saying? Um,
Hang on.
like what did AOC say? Okay, here's AOC's tweet. This falls squarely on CNN. Everyone here saw was exactly what's going to happen. Instead, they put a sexual abuse victim in harm's way for views. This was a choice for platform lies about election and January 6th with no plan to have the moderator interrupt without consequences. CNN should be ashamed of themselves. They have lost control of this town hall and again manipulated into platforming election disinformation, defenses of January 6th, and a public attack on a sexual abuse victim. The audience is cheering in on and laughing at the host, which was the most surprising thing that they didn't vet the audience. Like the audience was audibly like laughing at Trump's jokes, which like the guy should have really been a Trump stand-up comedian.
Yep.
But like they're like laughing at his jokes, they're applauding him when he fights back. Like he just knows how to stand up for himself. Like he does so well in that
Mhm.
situation. So like CNN, I don't know if they meant to do this. I bet they did because honestly, their ratings have been in the shit for 4 years, 3 years now. The ratings have been shit for 3 years, and Trump is good for ratings.
Mhm. The news loves Trump.
So like they might act like they hate him, but they really need him.
He's a drug. They can't get enough. They never ride so high when they're on the Trump.
Speaking of riding high and getting fucked up, Tucker.
Oh
Catch up,
yeah, yeah. He got released from Fox, and now apparently he's doing his own thing on Twitter.
I'm really curious. Do you think he's like actually going to have like a live stream podcast for Twitter, or is
I
he
have,
going
to be really honest, I don't really watch a whole lot of Tucker to begin with, so I really don't know what to expect. Something probably like his show, but less canned, I guess. Like he'll just be like what he wants to talk about, regardless of what it is.
I'm severely. I would say like I disagree with Tucker on a lot of stuff,
Yeah,
but like you watch his monologues
they are
and
good.
like they're almost always spot on.
Yeah.
Like Tucker's definitely somebody you can always sit down and have a conversation with. He's got like a great sense of humor. Like they try to release those Media Matters like leak photo videos of him like basically just cracking jokes
Mm-hmm.
and like he even calls out. He's like, "Oh, I know this is going to end up on Media Matters when I leave Fox." And it's just like how could you think like anybody who's like honest, like watching those videos of him like palling around with like Piers Morgan, like or poking fun of himself, right? Like
Yeah.
he's saying like if we're gonna discuss sex, like I want to do the fine points of technique, and it's just like you realize that's a self dig, right? Like how could we be bad at this person? But so yeah, I understand is that Elon did not make any deal with Tucker for a
Well,
Twitter show.
I think
So,
he's like, he said that Twitter was just like a platform for free speech. So like, if Tucker wants to do it, he can. But like, he's like, yeah, haven't made a deal with him.
well, yeah, it's not like it's Spotify where it's like, oh, we're paying Joe Rogan
Yeah.
X amount per year to make, um, make it happen, but, um, or like be exclusive to Spotify. Like I'm sure Tucker will be on a lot of platforms. Once, but like, what's his contract like? Is it exclusive and like
I
he's got to
have,
deal with lawyers at Fox or some shit?
I have no idea. Like, I would assume if he had a contract, like, it's probably not applicable unless they're using it to sue Fox for breach of contract. But like, outside of that, I have no idea.
Well, no, I have to assume that is like, oh, we have exclusive control over your, um, your media appearances and like because you're a Fox News personality, and then it's like, I imagine they had to pay him out to
Probably.
release him from that, release
Ooh.
him, or he's because I think the situation they're in right now is like, oh, we don't have him on a show and we're not currently paying him, so he's not beholden to anything he's signed anymore, basically. If Tucker had a good agent, which I'm sure he does because he went to fucking like Harvard and was in the CIA for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Or not in the CIA, but buddies with the CIA.
Adjacent to the.
Adjacent to the CIA. I'm sure he's got good lawyers, is what I'm getting at.
Of course, yeah.
And
Good
so like
Jewy lawyers. Members of the tribe.
I didn't say that.
I did. I can say that.
Okay, I need you to turn sideways. Show me that nose profile. Okay. Yeah. Oh, he's even doing the hand shift thing. Okay.
God.
No, I mean, obviously, like Tucker does these interviews and he's doing like little releases, so it's not like they control like they would have already sued him if they controlled everything he does. So I'm just wondering if like he just does this, the Tucker Today, like the big long format interviews. Like Tucker could easily outdo Ben Shapiro.
Oh,
Jordan
easily.
Peterson, anybody like that. And just have a really awesome long format interview, like talk show podcast where it's just like, oh yeah, I'm asking the big questions and we're trying to figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And he can afford to hire a couple like reporters to go around and like, try and get some gotcha questions at press conferences, although the president doesn't conduct any anymore. But all that.
Well, I mean, he could ask some questions to press secretary Ice Spice, or whatever the hell her name is.
Is it not Jean Pierre or whatever?
I don't know. Her name. Yeah. That woman who is the press secretary.
Lady. Yeah. So, okay. Moving on from the Tuck. Did you see the latest appearance from the senior senator from California at Capitol Hill?
Oh, yeah. So I saw it on Quite Frankly's Instagram. And of course, my comment was, what's the matter, smooth skin? Haven't you ever seen a ghoul before? I haven't. No strikes against my account yet, so we're good.
Well, like, okay, so like Republicans are like obviously like there's any excuse to like get rid of a Democrat senator, like they're like, oh, poster. Yeah, the comments are stuff like poster person for term limits. We're not sending our best. Vote out the fossils. And it's like, what is a better example of like what the Democrat Party actually is, except for like the most senior member of the AARP,
Yeah.
who's got like tens of millions of dollars in defense company portfolio stocks.
Nancy
Um,
Pelosi and Dianne Feinstein should be like sitting in an old folks' home cafeteria somewhere with like there's like the clouds are painted on the wall and there are windows that are like barred and they can't get out, but it's okay because it's tapioca day. And everything's
I
okay on tapioca day. That's where they
In a
belong.
perfect world, that's where they would be. But also, is a perfect world is where Nancy Pelosi and this woman are the face of America's, left wing party. The
Yeah.
ruling party is headed up by like an 80-year-old senile man who makes like one press conference a week with scripted questions with like how to read the reporters' names.
Before he
The
gets led away
controlling
with
vote
ice cream.
led away with ice cream. And then the deciding vote in the Senate is a 90-year-old lady getting wheeled around in a wheelchair with like only one eye open, who's asking like where she is, and then like the leader of the party in the Senate or the Congress or the House of Representatives
Yeah.
is like just this lady showing off her. She makes TikToks of her fridge full of fine gelatos shipped from Italy, but she's also like 80. There's pictures of her as a young girl next to JFK, and it's the same look he has on his face next to Marilyn Monroe,
God.
and um Nancy Pelosi, and they're all somehow like multi-hundred millions of dollars of value, all of them somehow, even though they've worked their entire lives in public service. They just happen to own all of the right defense companies.
They make some
I
amazing trades at like the right moments. It's pretty cool to see how they work actually.
follow unusual whales on twitter.com. So yeah, it is I think it's the perfect face for this late empire that we're in, is just the like they they have a Democratic governor in California. He could appoint somebody tomorrow to replace Dianne Feinstein. She's been out of the Senate since February,
But he won't do it, will he?
but like he won't ask her to step down. Gavin Newsom, like for some reason, won't be like, "Hey, Dianne, let me appoint somebody who's will vote." Like
We're
because
getting to the
Biden.
point Dianne Feinstein's just going to be able to communicate like that like wheelchair thing from Futurama where it's just like a single light and it goes beep or beep beep, like one for yes,
No,
two for no.
it's fucking Tio from Breaking Bad.
Oh
He's
yeah.
gonna be over there with the bell.
Ding! Mrs. Feinstein, how are we doing today? Ding! Oh, good.
No, I think this is exactly what the American people need to see, because it's like the boomers will not let go.
They will not.
Hector Salamanca, yeah, Tio, it's Tio.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Yup.
Thank you, HB Nana.
Yes.
Um, so, anyways, we're hitting about an hour here. Any
Yeah.
closing?
No, all I can say is if you happen to live in an area where the handgun ban is actually lifted for you, go buy a gun. It's fun. Just like, just have fun with it. Mess around with it in front of people. Ask them what their favorite Tool album is. Just get silly. Be yourself.
Remember, the first rule of gun safety is have fun and be yourself.
Exactly. The second rule is finger on the trigger is cruise control for cool. Third rule is safety always off. Fourth rule is only do those things in Minecraft. For legal reasons, only do those things in Minecraft. Oh, shit. You got any closing comments, man?
I would just advise everybody, if you don't want to be put in a situation where you might become a domestic terrorist, is don't live in a place with that you might feel like you might have to become one.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. Like,
move to the countryside.
yeah. New York City,
Don't-
Chicago, LA. You're statistic bait, man. You're just waiting to be a statistic.
Yep.
And with that, folks, thank you again for joining us. And as always, taxation is theft.